That you were wrong.
I think I was correct when I said a couple of weeks ago in that piece, the last elephant piece at the beginning of the week, that it would take at least 2% of the other two candidates combined to force a runoff. So even if neither of the two main candidates at the moment on the portal here have got 50%, I would say in this election the chance of a runoff is about 1 in 50. I think it's very, very small.
Very, very small.
You seem to agree, Isabella?
Because Wajakoya, I mean, neither one is getting even 0.5%. Yeah. So the total combination of them is not going to get up very much above 1% if it gets that far. So there's not going to be a runoff.
Do you share those sentiments?
You can take that to the bank.
Well, he's the numbers guy,
Yeah.
and I agree. I agree from just what it is that we're seeing. Certainly, I'm not, the heaviest when it comes to matters numbers, but I am very concerned in terms of what then that means. We were having a small chat with him and he was talking about issues of alerts of, enhanced deployment or rather state surveillance. And I was giving him an update and I'm saying, you see, if we're talking about a scenario where we'll not have a runoff, are we saying that people are going to be satisfied with what it is that we are given in terms of declaration? And I'm giving him an update, given what it is that the IMLU team looked at 6 p.m. And I'll have you know this, that in Kirinyaga now we've seen a heavier presence of NYS and Kenya prison officers. In Homa Bay, we've seen a heavier sort of deployment between 2 and 5 p.m. today of GSU officers. And then the same thing in Homa Bay. And the question then is, are we gearing up for anything dangerous or anything serious? Because then the historical mandate of the police is to ensure that public order management is undertaken as per the Bill of Rights. But then again, now when we start seeing a few heightened surveillance in specific areas, are we worried about something? Are we not sure of an outcome? Did we have any in mind? Those are some of the questions that come to mind when we're speaking numbers. Yeah.
The question that comes out of this time, so we have a few things that happened in terms of result transmission. The IEBC, based on the Supreme Court ruling of 2017, decided this time not to give that traditional screen that gives the numbers that they have tabulated from the Form 34s that they've received. And this time what they did was allow a public portal where there is all the results coming and everyone can witness, and if you're clever like Dr. Wolf, you can do it by yourself and give all the results. Here's the problem.
Not 46,000 polling stations.
Precisely.
I'd at least need your help of you two.
Well, I just want to walk the public through just the immense work that looks like in terms of tabulating all these results, because it appears people are sitting there and like, why haven't you done it? Why haven't you done it?
Why don't we know what the results
why don't we know the result?
already?
And it's all there.
Well,
It's complex, right?
It's, I'm sure, very, very laborious to do that. Although I'm hearing from my friends who use social media, which I don't use very much because I'm still in the Stone Age, that both of the campaign teams, Azimio and Kenya Kwanza, have gone through all of these and they're both announcing quote unquote final results, which are different. Now again, anybody who has gone directly to those posts, I don't know if on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, but as I say, my friends who use this are telling me they've got huge teams that have been going through all of those polling station 34As, and they've got their results, and they're boasting that their candidate, each one has won, but maybe we'll get the story if you people in media do some investigative journalism when this is all over, to find out not so much what they came up into the results, but how much planning and effort would take to do that. Just what, less than 2 days, or like less than a day and a half since the polls closed. Even if we have some parts of the country which haven't had their elections, or I guess they were having them today. And was the Mombasa one held today? That was just for governor that's been put off, not presidential. So there's definitely, as you were suggesting, the fact that IEBC is, karibuni, everybody can come and look at these 34As. Yeah. And this is the first go at this. There will be, by those who look at electoral processes, election integrity, even issues of security, tensions, and so on, we'll see what has been the impact of that when all the dust is settled. And hopefully it will be positive, even if neither you nor I, the two of you or the two of us, could possibly go through, 1,000, let alone 46,000 by the time we come on air with you.
Yeah, Isabella, the thing about that is this, that the results transmission and the question about what happens during the result transmission has always been a key thing in every election. And there's the question of, someone is trying to play games at the back end. And this, speaking to your point, essentially allows this sort of transparency that the public needs to have, that all this documentation, 100% of them are in a public portal. No one is trying to play games.
And just before you address that, I just want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, I've not heard of a single case in these 46,000 polling stations where party agents have refused to sign, or there's been any controversy about the validity of those results, so that they've been tested. Maybe there's a couple,
I'll have you know this, that
led to violence or anything like that.
Well, it doesn't really need to translate to violence, but we have Azimio agents, given our verified reports, in Kajiado North, who were locked out of a given tallying station, right? And that's quite political, which is really the least of my business. But there's an enormous body of work that has gone into harnessing technology in terms of our elections. Our elections are possibly the most expensive, one of the most expensive in the world. You'll give them that. You'll give the commission that they have tried to harness technology to ensure that there's some form of transparency. That we can give them. This is the third election they're having in this particular, not so new constitution. We would have expected that, they would have set their house in order. We did not have the most precautious sort of commission, but they have attempted, to do whatever it is that they have done. However, on the other end, you can tell that there's a discord in terms of how things are currently happening. It's like they're thinking on their feet. The problem with that then is, how does it translate to the normal Mwananchi? I was having a chat with him and he said, oh, let's sample and blah, blah. That can't happen now. The tensions are quite high. And the tensions are translating into so many other things that we may not even have planned for, right? True. Whether we have a runoff or not. So then my question is, we are transmitting them as we are. What then happens in the next 24 hours? Do we then need to change our plans? Do we, possibly think of another situation? Because, it's questionable. What they call the Kenya Integrated Electoral Management System, that we like to call the KIMS, is a brainchild of the Elections Act, Section 44. Has it been done the way it was supposed to be done?